April, you may not know, is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and all month long there will be activities and presentations scheduled to help with the prevention of child abuse and neglect. Now in studio with me this evening to talk about this very topic is Deputy Attorney General for the Family Division, Carol Sanchez, and social worker Maeleen Sanchez. Ladies, hafide and welcome, and I understand no direct relation.
None.
All right, well, we're very happy to have you here, and thank you for your insight on this. And the first question would be the most obvious, and yet maybe given your respective disciplines, maybe a little bit broadly defined. What exactly, as far as social work and then as far as the legal interpretation, is child abuse and neglect? And we'll start with you, Maeleen.
Okay, in regards to social work, child abuse and neglect is any child who's being directly threatened, whether it be physical, mental, or emotional. Welfare is being threatened by any caretaker, and where the parent who is not, who's actually doing the threatening or who's failing to protect. That's child abuse or neglect. It's any child who's being hurt in any way, mental, physical, emotional, educational. I mean, there's just an extreme broad field of what it is.
Okay, and then Carol, how would you define child abuse?
Basically, the division I actually supervise is the family division, so we actually oversee child protective services. But of course, our office also prosecutes any adult offenders because we do have the prosecution division. So child abuse and neglect, there's two areas. There's the actual criminal side of it, which they could be subjected to criminal charges under Title IX of our Guam Code Annotated, which could be family violence charges. It could stem to child abuse charges, failure to provide, harassment, terrorizing charges. With respect to child protective services, we fall under a different title, which is Title 19 of the Guam Code Annotated. And under that section, as Maeleen had mentioned, it's subjecting a child to any form, even just a potential threat of any kind of risk, whether it be physical, sexual, emotional. We're seeing a lot of educational neglect and medical neglect at this time. So it's any form of abuse or neglect that's subjected to the minor, not just by parents, but any person responsible. So a caretaker, a guardian, a person that's an in-home perpetrator is what CPS really focuses on, is because when there's an in-home perpetrator, there's obviously that risk to any other children that may be in that home. And so that's just the two ways that our office has been addressing it, through our division and then through the prosecution division. Okay.
Now, what resources, because I know, both of you in your respective work maybe get involved in the process, once it's been reported, what type of resources are there on island that people can report instances of child abuse and neglect to?
Okay, well, currently CPS is actually 24/7. They have on-call crisis workers who would be sent out at any time of the day to entertain crisis calls that come in. It can also be reported to the Guam Police Department. There's a tri-agency. The way the CPS statute was designed is that it's tri-agency. So whatever goes to CPS would be channeled through GPD or my office. And whatever comes to GPD would be likewise channeled through CPS or my office as well. So the three agencies work together. But with respect to resources out there, dealing with children, it's a very complex area, because a lot of these kids that come into the system, they have other issues like disabilities or mental health issues that really aren't recognized by parents or caretakers. And so when they come into the system, they're really good kids, but the fact is they have a disability that kind of infringes upon their ability to either go to school or their just ability to control their behaviors. So they have disorder conducts that need to be medicated or stabilized. And so they come into the system, and we end up working with the other government and non-government agencies to ensure that the child is given proper treatment. It doesn't mean going to court. Sometimes CPS can handle those matters through what we call informal services with the family. But if it doesn't work, then it's obvious that we would need to take a more aggressive action.
Okay. Well, ladies, of course, it is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So what type of activities will be ongoing to educate the community and towards the prevention of child abuse and neglect? We
have a whole bunch of activities. We normally fill up our whole the month.
I can see that. That is quite the list.
A whole bunch. But however, we have simple stuff for the parents. Mostly it's to help the parents learn how to be more proactive with their children. Like we have one for loving discipline on Thursday, and it's at PIRC. It's at Parent Involvement Parent Information Resource Center. And what they basically do is they're going to teach help teach parents be a little bit more proactive in regards to disciplining your child who's in middle school and high school years, which is normally the hardest time of the kid. We have bullying for parents prevention raw, we have resume writing, we have so much. And what you could do is you could call us at our office and we can go through that with you and see what you may want to attend and what we think that you could be able to do. We also have Saturday Story Hour on Saturday, April 2nd and April 30. And they also wanted us to note that the Organic Cathedral is holding a Mass of Intention on Sunday, April 3rd, this April 3rd, 2011 at 9:30 for child abuse and neglect.
Okay. So I'm assuming there are a great many online resources, like locally, where people can go to.
Yes.
Do you have a website?
We don't actually have a website from where you could go to, but I mean, if you were to just call CPS or any other child agency, they will direct you to whatever resources that you wanted to go to. But with CPS, you could just call us at our office at 475-2672, and we'll be able to help you with that. But I wanted to touch on, Carol, in regards to the mandated reporters. It's really anybody who's dealing with a child. You could just be a concerned citizen to just make that report. And even if you've made one report or you think that, well, they probably must know, you should just make another report, and it really does help. So it's very important that anybody who deals with children at any time should just call and make a report if they think that the child may be abused or what have you, because we'll determine that. But you can just go ahead and make that report.
Okay, well, ladies, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you.
All right,
Bye.
thanks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.